Yamaha Tenere 700. Finally here it is. It seems that it took almost 3 years to Yamaha since the delivery of the concept motorbike T7 to come finally back into this segment, and the free diapason company, therefore Yamaha, is willing to win the segment of the dual sport. So Yamaha Tenere 700, it's a legendary name, and we find it in the middle of the 70s when a whole family of adventure motorbikes was developed. And finally, after almost 40 years, it comes back. And here it is with Tenere 700. The legend was born in 1976 with the XT500 Tenere. It was a winning motorbike, both on the market with more than 6,000 units distributed all over Europe, but even in the competition. And in fact, the let's say on-road success came straight from the off-road, because it was the very first bike to triumph by the Paris-Dakar, and it was driven by Cyril Neveu. It was a success that became more and more impressive because also several other evolution models came out, and therefore appeared the XT600X and the XTZ750 Super Tenere, an unbelievable rocket twin cylinder. And nowadays even the XT1200Z and ZE are on the market, but it's not exactly in the spirit of the very first motorbikes. But this Adventure 700 is really going back to the concept of pure dual sport with a strong off-road characteristic and behavior. Let's give a look to the appearance of the motorbike. It's quite clear that the optical group, the set of lights with the 4 LED and the front tire by 21 inches, and how the wool instruments are set up give you exactly an idea that this 700 Adventure has been done to go off-road. So it seems to be more off-road oriented. Of course, it's not a factory bike, but if you give a look at the forks upside down, 43 millimeters with a wool length of 210 millimeters, which can be fully regulated in extension, and which is combined with a mono on the back, which is clearly derived from the rally, and it works with progressive leverages with an excursion of 200 millimeters. You really can understand that we are talking about a special dual with the tires that are Pirelli Scorpion Rally STR, so not exactly on-road tires. Therefore, you should really consider this motorbike if your spirit is going off-road. So the engine is twin cylinder, worth 689 cc, which is derived from the Tracer 700 and the MT-07. It's an engine that is very linear and with 73.4 horsepower. It's quite impressive but smooth. We have to say that all the testers said that it was very smooth. Anyway, you can count on a torque worth 68 Newton meter, which reaches its top by 6,500 RPMs. The transmission, of course, is bi-chain. And what comes more to the eye is this fantastic frame, which is in pure steel, and it has been developed to make the bike the lightest possible and have a good feedback both on-road and off-road. If you jump on the bike, you can really feel that between your knees, it's not so as big as it could appear, and there is a quite interesting 240 millimeter height from the ground, which allows to overtake even woods and mid-sized stone, with a seat which is 880 millimeters and a stretched out tank worth 16 liters You can really go to on the most difficult terrains without any problem. It's impressive, the braking system. 282mm on the front and 245mm on the back. It's impressive, and as long as you try it, you will understand why this bike anyway also have great feeling give you great feeling on the on-road. Yamaha has never been so crazy about electronics, and we have ABS on board, but it can be taken off. Not so much electronics, and you may like it or not. It seems that the Yamaha decided to follow a philosophy that the less things you have on the motorbike, the less they can be broken. All the instruments have been put together into one single LCD display, which may seem basic, but you have to think that this bike has really been designed to go off-road. Therefore, in fact, you can find that it has been mounted on silent blocks as rally motorbike. It may seem that it's vibrating, but it's not like that. It's exactly what you need in order to keep it up and running, even in the serious off-road. There are some more details that let you understand where did this project start from. The front mud protection is low, but it can be regulated depending on the kind of tires you want to put on, and the two handles that have been incorporated into the back seat, which is quite typical system that it's used when you are off-road and the bike goes down. When talking to the tester, which have driven the bike in very different conditions, everybody says that it's very intuitive. It seems strange because on the dry the weight is 187 kilograms, while ready to go with all the liquids on board we are talking about more than 200 kilograms, 203 to be exact. And yes, it's not exactly light, but the combination of the suspension regulations and the frame has given the feeling that it's very, very, very intuitive. It's very precise on the front, and even if the tank seems to be in high position, and honestly it is, by coupling it with the rally seat, everybody was saying that it was driving much better, much easier to be driven both on road and off road, believe it or not. Honestly speaking, if we have to find a weak point, we should say that it's in the suspensions, but only if you really push hard off-road. On-road, the 42mm front fork works very well. Even off-road, the real limit is that if you're pushing hard, it may get to the end of the excursion. That's all. But better not to jump, and the problem is solved. Said this, 16 liters on the tank. It's great autonomy, 350 kilometers you can do, and honestly, the reserve allows you to go for additional 80-90 kilometers. So you will never stay on the road, even if you should push very hard this engine. Also, something else that we could say we didn't like very much is about the clutch, which is not hydraulic, and even the front windshield is a bit small. But it seems that this is the trend. Look at the KTM 700 Adventure. That's the direction. You may like it or not. Anyway, there's a lot of aftermarket accessories that you can put on with just spending 50 euros, and you have all the protection you want. Going to the price and who can buy, who can ride it. The price is quite interesting because we are below the 10,000 euros. We are talking about 9,490 euros with 3 different colors: the power black, the ice ceramic, and the white competition. So if you want to buy the typical motorbike that you use in the city, but a motorbike that can give big satisfaction off-road, and it's you don't want to go on a racing or a factory bike, we think that this is the correct motorbike. Just pay attention to the tires. The tires are clearly oriented for off-road use. Under the rain, remember, a rally tire is not exactly the safest one. So pay attention. You just have ABS, not the other electronic controls that you can find on the other bikes of the segment. And that's all. I mean, you can really enjoy this bike, putting a bit of attention when it's wet on road, but if it's wet off-road, who cares? So enjoy the test, give a look at the beautiful images and clips that we've put together, and let's see you by the next test that we are going to provide you. Thank you, ciao!